I don't want them to pass on their tradition, right? That's why it was important for them to try to mash out Moses.
Is the audio better now? Let me know.
Good. Because Moses was going to be responsible for what? Writing all of this down. The first 5 books of the Bible come from Moses. All
You're
right?
welcome.
Read on.
Chapter 11. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
So the whole earth was of one language and one speech. All right? That's why you will find something common in every language. All right? And it's the Lashon Kodash, the ancient Hebrew, or what people call the Paleo Hebrew. All right? There's elements of it that exist in every form of language that you could think of. Even the ancient Phoenician language, the ancient Mesopotamian language, you would see Hebrew letters in their language. All right? They have tablets from ancient Mesopotamia that have letters, Hebrew letters in it, in their words. Read on.
And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
So now they're beginning to build something. So now everybody's in the same location. You got all these different races. They all meeting up. They all in the same location. They said, let's build something, right? Read on.
And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
So now they say, yo, we don't want to go through another flood. So let's make a tower so high that God won't even be able to kill us with the flood. All right? These people are starting to defy God.
And then he knocked it down.
Exactly.
And then
Read on.
And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
So now that shows you how powerful man was. Because God created man to be in his image. So when God seen them coming together, God knew good and well they was going to make no tower big enough. God already knew that. It was the idea that they came together to defy him. And he said, yo, if they all able to come together like this, there's nothing stopping them. Even God acknowledged that. Man, ain't nothing could really get in man's way once he put his mind to it. So God said, now I got to stop that.
Speak different languages.
Yep, there you go. Read on.
Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language.
Hence the word Babel. All right, people babbling on. Read on.
That they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city.
Right, so now the Lord, he scattered them all right? He destroyed the tower and separated everybody. He gave everybody different languages. That's why God is so adamant against all of the nations trying to come together. Because if they did it back then to defy God, in today's time, when most people is atheists in some form or fashion, what do you think they would do? They've invented an atomic bomb, nuclear bombs, all right? They invented weapons that could destroy the whole earth. What do you think would happen if all nations got together now? We gonna even be alive. Right? That's why God said, I have to confuse them. I have to separate them. And every nation on the face of the earth that rules the world, they all try the same concept. Everybody come together, get rid of y'all ways that separate y'all. Let's all come together so they could do what? Defy God. That's all it is. And God always split it up. Always. Mm-hmm. Read on.
Therefore is the name of it called Babel.
Uh-huh.
Because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
Right. So now at this point, this is when the nations began to be separate. Because now you had to find people that speak the same language as you. Now once y'all start talking to one another, you like, oh, it's crowded over here. Let's go over there. You know, oh wait, somebody already over here. Let's go over there. You know, I like that land. We're gonna fight them and try to kill them for it. And everything was a free for all. And eventually people got their own lands, and when people got their own lands and settled down, they made their own customs, their own heritage, and you figured it would have been peace, but no, it wasn't.
It never is.
All right, because people always want more than what's given to them. Mm-hmm. What's given to them is never enough.
That's why I said, give me to them my daily bread.
Yep. Read on.
That's it.
These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old, and he begot Arphaxad.
Uh-huh.
2 years after the flood.
Uh-huh.
And Shem lived after he begot Arphaxad 500 years and begot sons and daughters.
So now y'all see how long people are still living at this point? That's why when we read that story, we read last week, we read the epic story of Gilgamesh. All right, and we was reading the ancient Babylonian version of the flood story. And they had this character named Gilgamesh who, for him, it was a journey to make it up this top mountain, because at the top of this mountain was supposed to be these gods, or this God. And he wanted to get answers about life and humanity. So he went through this whole big journey to get to the top of the mountain, right? And then when he gets there, he find out this man ain't God, is just a human being.
Yeah.
All right? And then the human being said, look, I'm going to tell you a secret that has been hidden away from the world all of this time. And then the secret was the story of the flood.
Yeah.
And he told him how God had him build a boat, and God flooded the earth, and all of this other stuff. So to me, that sounded like he went on a journey to find Noah.
And he found Noah.
He went on a journey to find Noah, and this is hundreds of years after the flood, and now we reading people live to be 500 years, 200
and
years.
It tells you in the story that he never left the ark, right? And when you read the Bible, it tells you that his kids left, but it never mentioned Noah leaving himself.
Eventually, Noah did leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember that they starting off civilization again.
Yeah.
So they couldn't just leave and then everything free throw. Like, nah, like they had to train the animals to get accustomed to wildlife and all of that stuff. You understand? This is details that you're not going to really read completely in the Bible, because the Bible is meant to focus on the main part that's important for you. You understand? But you got to understand, this was not light work. So Noah couldn't just straight up and leave the ark. He had to start civilization all over. That's why we just read Shem lived to be 200 years old, and 2 years after the flood, he had a child. How many more children did he have within those 200 years? Right? Then that child lived to be 500 years old. So now a lot of time is going by, and people are forgetting what's actually happening.
Yeah. And
now people are just saying whatever they remember or could remember, or put whatever twist on it.
Yeah.
All right? Read on.
And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begot Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begot Salah 403 years.
So that means he was 903 years old when he died. Imagine that. People was living long at that time. They could have survived certain conditions that we couldn't. In today's time, you try to climb Mount Everest, and you start getting cold after a certain level.
I tried to go visit Mount Sakaria today, and I was like
15 flights.
15 flights, and I was like, oh my God.
Huh? Yeah, they get old, but they don't get old like the
way
we do. You know what I'm saying? At this time, you know, old for them, like, man, listen, they like the lifespan of a tree. You 100 years old and still looking like you 10. Like boy, you don't get old, yo. Like, you understand?
A story about why we don't go that, like our ages don't go that high.
Yeah,
We about to read it right now, actually.
God.
Hey!
Right?
Answer to your question.
We actually about to read it right now. Read on.
And begot sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begot Eber. And Salah lived after he begot Eber 403 years and begot sons and daughters.
Right, so Eber was the one that carried on the original language, was the ancient Hebrew, right? So he carried that language on while everybody else got their own languages. Read on.
And Eber lived 430 years and begot Peglag.
Mm-hmm.
And Eber lived after he begot Peglag 430 years and begot sons and daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And Peglag lived 30 years and begot
Reuel.
And Peglag lived after he begot Reuel 209 years and begot sons and daughters. And Reuel lived 230 years and begot Serug. And Reuel lived after he begot Serug 207 years and begot sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begot Nahor.
And now Nahor is, you're going to find out, is directly related to Abraham. All right, read on.
And Serug lived after he begot Nahor 200 years and begot sons and daughters. Nahor lived 920 years and begot Terah. And Nahor lived after he begot Terah and 119 years and begot sons and daughters.
Right, so now Nahor is the grandfather of Abraham. Terah is Abraham's father, which you're going to find out. All right, and then after that, Nahor also still had children as well. All right, so now, well, I'm not going to jump shit. Keep reading.
And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot. And Haran died.
So Lot was Abraham's nephew. All right, read on.
And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his
Nativity.
And of the Chaldeans.
Of the Chaldees, right. Right, so pretty much he died in the same place where they began to repopulate and create the first cities at. All right, that's where he died at. Read on.
And Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarah. And the name of Nahor's wife,
Malchi.
What?
Malchi.
And the daughter of Haran, the father of Malchi, the father of Iscah. But Sarah was barren.
Meaning she couldn't have children. All right. So Abraham took him a wife, but she couldn't have children. But Abraham still loved her, even though she couldn't have children. Read on.
She had no child. And Terah took Abraham, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his sons, and Sarah, his daughter-in-law.
Right, and notice it called her Terah's daughter-in-law. And the reason why they put that there, they put it there on purpose because Abraham told what you would call a white lie, I guess, that was his sister in another story. But it wasn't his sister, it was his wife. All right? But
if it says daughter-in-law, then, sister-in-law.
Take it from you, right?
Little white lie, huh?
So they wouldn't take, because you got to remember, the world was savage at that time.
Yeah, there was no
You
popo
living in
to
a
help
time
you.
period where people seen what they wanted, they just took it. That's why we got the law, thou shalt not covet. All right? Because everybody else had every single one of the 10 commandments except for the Sabbath day and thou shalt not covet. Those are the only commandments that you won't see in any other person's law. And thou shalt not covet deals with your mind. Like you see something that somebody else have and you want it. All right? You could have had it on your own, but just because this person got it, now you want it. That's
It's like you don't just want any blue car, you want his blue car.
Right. Read on.
and his son's Abraham's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldeans to go into the land of Canaan. And they came to Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died, and he ran.
So now we're going to leave it off right here. All right, because when we continue, we're going to go into the story of Abraham, how Abraham decided to leave that area because everybody was idol worshiping and worshiping stone gods and wooden gods and all that stuff.
I heard about that.
Right.
If they have any questions.
Anybody on the live? Is this Facebook live or YouTube?
It's YouTube.
Yeah. Anybody on the live? If y'all got any questions, just let me know. We'll address it. I'm sorry that we had to start it over. You know, these things happen, man.
Technical difficulties.
Right.
We apologize.
Right, but while y'all thinking upon that, thinking about what questions I want to ask, you know, just to tell everybody else here, the story of Abraham is very important because Abraham, he's the one that God is going to deal with and give the covenant to, just like he gave the covenant to Adam, just like he gave the covenant to Noah, and then Shem, and then Eber. Now it's Abraham. All right, Abraham is going to be God's chosen, and he's going to be given a promise that he's going to give, not give birth, but be the progenitor of the Israelite nation. All right, and that the world was going to be blessed through his seed, which that seed being Christ. All right, the whole world was going to be blessed through Christ. So next week, you know, just be prepared to go into Genesis chapter 12. We might read more than 2 chapters next week, you know, if we able to. I would like to try to read as many chapters as we
And
can.
remember, for everybody online, Fridays is freestyle classes where it's
Right.
questions and answers every Friday around 7 o'clock. It's questions and answer, all right? And on Sabbath, it will be like Sabbath service, living on what he left over right now.
Right, right. All right, so all praise to the Most High. I pray that we gain much wisdom and understanding by Shema Mashiach. Amen.
Amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Where's my bill?
Right here. We're going to do the closing prayers, all right?
Yeah, they don't need to be on for this.
If they want to, they could.
I don't like praying.
Baby, that's not praying in public. That's praying with other Hebrews that need their prayers. I don't view that as praying in public. So we're gonna do the closing prayers. If anybody want to stay online, you can stay online. Hallelujah.
Amara Yapanya Yerushalayim, stand and face Jerusalem. Please repeat after me. Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Slaki. Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Agado.
Agado.
Barakayawam.
Barakayawam.
Abiyah.
Abiyah.
Wanara. Al-Naiwa.
Al-Naiwa.
Malak.
Malak.
Shal.
Shal.
Shemayim.
Shemayim.
Wa'aratiza.
Wa'aratiza.
Wa'akol.
Wa'akol.
Wa'barium.
Wa'barium.
Kayayim.
Kayayim.
Wa'gam.
Wa'gam.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Mayahawa.
Mayahawa.
Adawanawa.
Adawanawa.
Habiyanawa.
Habiyanawa.
Allah. Yawa Itiza.
Yawa Itiza.
Yahawsha.
Yahawsha.
Zakarnawa.
Zakarnawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Batizawan.
Batizawan.
Amaka.
Amaka.
Yasha Allah.
Yasha Allah.
Azarnawa.
Azarnawa.
Bana.
Bana.
Wa Asap.
Wa Asap.
Yasha Allah.
Yasha Allah.
Al. Nayanawa.
Nayanawa.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Aita.
Aita.
Kayawam.
Kayawam.
Makadam.
Makadam.
Babakusha.
Babakusha.
Shalak.
Shalak. Harakah.
Sho, Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Ladamanawa, Rabion, Kakama, Tabawana, Wada Aif, Sho, the Baraka, Shamaria, Al Nawa, Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Wada, Amen. Blessed are you, Yahweh, and the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power God, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Also, the anointed of Yahweh, from our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahweh Shah, Jesus Christ.
Hallelujah.
Remember us, Yahweh, favorably, your people, Israel. Help us build and gather Israel, Most High. We beg you right now, like the days of old. Please send the spirit of the anointed Jesus Christ to us to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word, and watch over us in the name of the anointed Jesus Christ. Thank you. Always and forever. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Got one more prayer?
Oh wait, that's the same prayer. Just the anointed. Alright. Need brothers line up over here so I can put some anointing oil on you. Alright. A little bit heavy on the hand.
Guys, I'm gonna end the live feed, okay? So Shabbat Shalom, and see you next Friday and Saturday. Shalom.